Saturday, October 12th, we've got a full NHL slate lined up, and I've got my 6 best bets for you. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Karan Thacker, and we've got NHL best bets for Saturday, October 12th. Before we get into it, guys, just a few housekeeping things to take care of. If you haven't already, go check out Steven's NFL and MLB best bets video. He's been absolutely crushing it in both sports recently, and I'm also personally tailing a lot of his plays too. So never a bad idea if you're looking for some solid bets. Also, for those of you that are looking for NHL picks and just general NHL discussion on the daily, if you aren't in the Discord already, I highly recommend joining it. We do post our bets in the Discord as well as here on YouTube and also on X from time to time. And just a heads up, I am recording this video on Friday night, so player props are not out as of yet. Neither are like first period money lines and whatnot, so just once again keep an eye out on those pinned comments for any added plays, because I can almost guarantee there definitely will be a few that are finalized on Saturday morning. And as always, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Really appreciate all the support from you guys in helping this channel grow. It does go a long way, so thank you. Bet number 1 and bet number 2. So we're starting with the Kings and the Bruins in Boston at 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. The Kings are 1-0. They've beat the Sabres 3-1 in Buffalo, and Boston is 1-1 so far. So the Bruins lost 6-4 in Florida, and then they won 6-4 at home against Montreal. Last year, these two teams played twice. Boston won 4-2 in LA, and LA won 5-4 in Boston. So they split it 1-1 last year. Also, one thing to note, in both games, Boston did win the first period against LA last year. So they're 2-0 in the first period despite being 1-1 overall. And so far this year, the Bruins are 1-1 in first periods. So they lost that first period in Florida, and then they won the first period against Montreal. So based on the data, I'm taking the over 5.5 goal total in this game at -120 on Bet365 for half a unit. The over 5.5 cashed in both head-to-head matchups between these two teams last year, and Boston has played 2 6-4 games this year, so 10 goals in each of their first 2 games. So everything to me is pointing towards an over 5.5 goal total in this game. Again, at -120, you can get that on Bet365. I'm taking that for half a unit. And also, I'm not seeing a line out as of yet, but once it is out, I will be sprinkling a quarter unit on the Bruins to win the first period. So once again, to keep an eye out on the pin comment for the official play there. Next up, we go to Broadway, and we've got the Utah hockey team visiting the New York Rangers. Utah is 2-0 this year. They've beat Chicago at home, and then they took care of the Islanders in New York. The Rangers are 1-0 so far, and they destroyed the Pittsburgh Penguins in Pittsburgh's home opener. They took that one 6-0. Last year, these two teams met twice, so the Rangers won 2-1 in New York, and then the Rangers also won 8-5 in Arizona. The Rangers also won both first periods against Arizona last year, so I've got 2 plays for this game. I'm taking the Rangers 60-minute line at -145 for half a unit on DraftKings. I think the Rangers take care of Utah here in regulation. It is a huge step up, in my opinion, for Utah. You go from Chicago at home, and then you go from the Islanders in New York to one of the best teams in the NHL, in my opinion. The Rangers are most likely going to be serious contenders once again for the Cup. So I will back them at -145 for half a unit to finish Utah in 60 minutes. Also, just like the last play, I'll be sprinkling a quarter unit on the Rangers to win that first period once that first period line is out. So keep an eye out for the pinned comments, because that will also be added in. And for the last bet, we are going to Buffalo, where the defending Cup champion Florida Panthers are in town. The Sabres are off to a nice and hot 0-3 start. They lost twice to New Jersey in Prague, and then they lost their home opener to the LA Kings. On the Florida Panthers side, they are 1-1, so they took care of the Boston Bruins in their home opener, and then they lost in Ottawa in their second game. So last year, these two teams met 3 times, and interestingly enough, Florida won all 3 matchups. Florida won 3-2 at home twice, and then they completely dismantled Buffalo 4-0 in Buffalo. So this year, guys, the Sabres, they look super, super disorganized in Lindy Ruff's structure. I know a lot of fans have had this complaint about Lindy Ruff, like wherever he goes to coach, he's kind of that old school, hard nosed, gets the team ready to play in terms of the intangibles. But in terms of, modern day structure and systems that really help teams play a nice up tempo speed game with lots of forechecking, that's why they made those moves to bring in like Ryan McLeod and kind of shore up that bottom six. It's not really aligning with the coaching style, in my opinion. I think the Buffalo Sabres are a lot better than what their record shows in terms of 0-3. But I don't think that that's really going to play out on the ice just as of yet, because the roster construction and the coaching, I don't think aligns. So for that reason, what I see here is the Panthers continuing to dominate Buffalo. I don't know if they'll sweep the season series again in regulation, but the two plays that I like here, give me the Panthers to bounce back. I'm taking their money line straight up for half a unit at minus 148 on DraftKings. And then also putting a quarter unit on the Panthers to win in 60 minutes at plus 100, also on DraftKings. And there you have it, guys. Those are the 6 best bets for Saturday. We are trying to keep it pretty light on the money lines, on the puck lines, on the totals. That's why you're seeing a lot of half unit plays, quarter unit sprinkles. There are new coaches that are implementing new systems on different teams. There are new players that have come in via trade, via free agency. And what we see in the first 30 days, approximately 10 to 15 games, we're seeing all of that come together. And then I think after the 10 to 15 game mark, we'll really have a solid idea of, what is the new NHL landscape, like who is dominating, who has regressed, who has progressed. What can we expect to see for the remaining 60 to 70 games for the rest of the year? So expect to see a lot more money lines, a lot more totals, and a lot heavier unit usage after the 10 to 15 game mark. But for now, what you'll probably get to see is a lot more player props that we'll be adding in the pin comments tomorrow and going forward. So once again, guys, appreciate your support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you for the next one.